Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan. And we are joined today by the winner of this year's Cabaret Idol, Miss Bonnie Sludikoff. If you have any questions for Bonnie, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. Grab a pen. That's 1-800-336-2225. And hello, by the way, to engineer Paul Madrid.
Paul Madrid!
Hi.
Paul, I thought I saw you the other day, but it wasn't you. That's an exciting story
twin.
I just told.
Yeah.
Bonnie?
Yes.
Just want you to know, I'm live tweeting. I'm not ignoring you.
Okay. Are you tweeting about me, though?
I am!
Okay, then
Wait,
that's
are
good.
you on Twitter?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, at Bonnie. Okay, I got it. Go for it, Brett.
Oh, I'm pushing Bonnie's microphone.
I know, that was sort of gross.
So what's going on here?
Going on. Hey, Bonnie.
Hi.
So you are a vocalist, but you didn't begin singing. You began acting. Is that right?
I began in musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
My first show was Fame, but it was like child Fame.
I will live
Awesome.
forever.
It's a horrible show, but I love that series. Go on.
I'm actually going to talk about it in my show, too, because my first song that I auditioned with was a Fame song, and then they gave me this song that they, like, give to children in the show. Like, it's, like, this really dorky song where you, like... Actually, okay, this is an embarrassing story, but it's funny. So it's called I Love Myself Just the Way I Am. It's, like, a self-help song, I think. They have you wear, like, your outfit, your costume, but they put all these things on you, like a boa and gloves, and they make you, like, strip them off one at a time. Like, not in a sexy way, but in, like, a funny way.
Stripping away the layers.
Yeah, but, like, that's
Right.
weird. And
It
I
is
didn't
a
like
little
that.
weird.
I was 6 and I was like, this is not cool.
What's that?
I had an audition after the very first show I did for a community theater production of Cinderella, and I'd never done that before, so I didn't know that everybody auditioning was about to watch me audition. And I swear to God, the pianist had my sheet music upside down. Like, he was playing a different song. And I think I got off the stage and just wept.
Aww.
And then I got cast as girl number 1. And then I quit it to go to Les Mis. What's up?
Which is clearly much better than being cast as girl number 2.
Yes. Bonnie, you just mentioned your show. Can you? Yes, you did. Welcome to La La Land. So tell us a little bit about it. What is it? What's happening? What's the name?
My show is called Bonnie Sludikoff, in my own words. It was named by producer James Mooney, just in his critique of one of my weeks of Cabaret Idol. And he's like, I could kind of see you with your show, Bonnie Sludikoff, in my own words, because I write some of my stuff. I do a lot of parodies.
I was there one night when you did parody. It was excellent. I'm a huge
you.
fan of rewritten lyrics. So.
I did parodies probably almost every other week of Cabaret Idol.
Nice.
I've been writing them forever. Like, I can't not write them. If I hear a song, I'm like, I think the actual words are. So
you can make a career out of that. I mean, for real, you could.
That'd be fun.
It's pretty awesome.
So you started in musical theater. You were young, and then you went on, I'm assuming, to high school and college to study?
I did.
Yeah, where'd you study?
I went to Cal State Northridge. I didn't study theater. I was more sensible, so I studied creative writing instead.
Ooh,
That's
smart
way
girl.
sensible, right?
Yeah.
Because
Nice.
there's
It's
a lot
big
of jobs.
career in that.
Right? Yeah.
right.
But actually, I do have a day job as an editor for a Poker Player newspaper, so I do make
That's
sure that.
awesome.
But she doesn't play poker.
I don't.
It's interesting.
Do you know that I'm developing a show right now called I Survived the Job?
Really?
And it's about survival jobs. So if you have any wacky ones, you got to let me know.
I had a lot of really weird jobs. Like, I like my job. It's great, and it's, more stable than some things I've done, but I was really reluctant to sit at a desk and do anything because I'm not around people a lot. So I had all these weird jobs. Like, I taught crafts, like arts and crafts, to like very, very old people,
Nice.
like at like some kind of developmental care place.
You're like, I
and
can't open the
I was a
glue. My
nanny.
fingers don't work anymore.
I was a camp counselor at like a sports camp. Like, I broke my finger. I should have run because I broke my
Nice.
finger at training.
Bonnie,
So you've
how do
kind of done it all.
Sorry.
I've done it all.
How do you spell your name so I can tweet you properly?
My last name is Sludikoff.
Oh, I had it except for the last F. Leave off the last F for faving. You don't know that jingle?
No.
Leave off the last S for savings. It's a mattress thing. Okay, it's New York. Never mind. Leave me alone.
Can we get back to the interview with Bonnie real quick?
Hold on. Yes, we can.
All right.
All right.
Bonnie, so you were studying and you went to college and you developed all this, and then you ended up at Cabaret Idol.
I did.
How did you get involved with them, and tell us a little bit about that experience? Yeah.
I'm trying to think of where I first heard about it. It might have been like an ad, or I don't remember where, but I saw it and I was like, that sounds just like what I do. Because it was like, well, it's not American Idol, it's like Cabaret, it's an intimate setting and it's more personable, and I could probably get away with singing some like Broadway stuff there as opposed to like a pop singing competition.
Yeah.
I didn't really do any pop ever before I did Cabaret Idol, but it's kind of opened my repertoire a little bit. So now I have some songs that I'll do that are not by like Broadway composers, which is good.
Yeah, it's good to have a nice
growth.
wide open repertoire.
Did you see yourself? Did you see yourself winning? I mean, that's a silly question. Did you see yourself winning? Of course, you saw yourself winning. But did you ever think that it would have the effect that it's had for you professionally? I would assume that it's kind of boosted your career in a certain way.
I mean, it's still very recent. This was just a couple months ago. So, but it's cool. It's definitely a very validating thing to when an audience like gets you in a way or like likes what you do.
Yeah.
So that's helpful, and I hope that a lot of things will come out of it. I've definitely made a lot of connections and networked with a lot of people through it. And
we were talking during the pre-interview that Cabaret Idol actually, like, people go see it. Mm-hmm. You never know whose friend is in the audience that's like a TV exec or like a record producer.
Well, and the original Shaft was in our audience like the first night, I think.
That is cool.
I wish I'd been there.
That's really cool.
And Bonnie, you were telling us also about a web series, which sounds fascinating to me. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
I co-wrote and co-produced and directed and starred in, did pretty much everything for this web series called Bayberry Hall that will someday air. I'm hoping it'll be about this fall. And it's about 4 resident advisors at a university, a fictional university in LA, and they have all these, adventures that they go through. I was an RA in college, so I had a lot of experience in this. And it goes through a lot of different genres. Like there's a musical episode, a sci-fi episode, and it also covers like serious topics. So it like strives to entertain, but also like teach college kids about surviving college.
That's sort of awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, you don't hear of any shows about RAs. I don't think that's something that's been tapped yet. So that's great.
And one thing that was interesting that you brought up in the pre-interview was that you did a lot of research before you wrote it to see like what people respond to, and I really think that's really smart to do instead of just throwing darts.
Like,
at
here's
the
the camera, and here go.
Yeah.
It's not about what you respond to; it's about what your audience responds
Right.
to.
Well, and actually, like we have a SAG new media agreement, so we were allowed to use SAG actors. We had to do a lot of research, but the thing is, it's a new media. It's like brand new. There's a lot of web series, but it's not more than 10 or 15 years old, and it's already it's kind of sad, but it's almost kind of already a dying media because I think a lot of people don't do the research. And so you see a lot of things that are kind of thrown together. But if you take the time to look at it and like think about who's going to watch my show and how long should each episode be and what am I really trying to accomplish, then you can get a lot out of it.
The studios are now taking over. I mean, it's sort of like when independent independent movies started, and they really were independent movies, and then like Sony got in on it and Fox got in on it, and suddenly it became like, this is Sony's independent arm, and it's like, well, it's still Sony. I think that's happening now with web series
probably
too.
Yeah, the best thing though is that like you have the freedom. Like I was like, well, I want to play a really great role, so I'm going to write myself a great role, and I want like you get to control a lot of things. So
yeah, you're doing it on your own. You're just taking your career.
It's like, well, nobody
by the
cast me
horns.
in a series, so I'm going to make my own, and then maybe a producer will see that, or maybe
We're proponents of that here.
Yeah, such a smart thing to do. Guys, we're talking with singer and songwriter Bonnie Sludikoff and actress Bonnie Sludikoff.
And writer and producer.
Oh my gosh, she does it all. If you have any questions for Bonnie, make sure you give us a call at 1-800-336-2225. That's 1-800-336-2225. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Daisy on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan.
I hate Van Morrison.
Oh my gosh, that's blasphemy. We're talking.
Oh, I hope he's not listening. Oh no!
Probably offended him.
What are we gonna do? Like when I called Dennis Prager and Adam Carolla a D-bag.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
We're talking about it right now.
Yeah, Daisy had some nice things to say.
We'll talk about it as long as we let them know I called them both D-bags.
I'm trying to think of something that is for D, but never mind. Daisy bags. You called them Daisy bags.
All right, Bonnie.
Hey, we're talking with singer-songwriter and actress Bonnie Sludikoff and winner of Cabaret Idol. Guys, we're going to be talking with Julie James in the next segment. And if you have any questions for Bonnie or Julie, make sure you call us at 1-800-336-2225. let's talk a little bit about your New Works Festival that you just worked on.
Okay, well, I just did this festival called New Works at College of the Canyons.
Uh-huh.
They have a great I don't go to school there, but they have a great theater department, and this festival it's annual, and basically writers from wherever, we even had one from who was not local, so he did stuff via Skype, can submit, and they blindly choose 7 or 8 plays.
Awesome.
And those plays get produced, and it's like a workshop process where you go in and you work with the actors and a professor, and you can see, well, that doesn't work, and you cut your piece a little bit, and then they perform it. It was really fun.
And I'm confused. You wrote it or you acted in it?
I wrote a piece for it.
Uh-huh.
And so I had actors like working on it for the spring semester, and then they performed it in May, and it was really cool. And then they publish these actually, which is cool because I don't think there's other festivals that do that. But the last one's on Amazon, so it's called the New Works Anthology, I think. And so you'll be able to buy it in like October or November.
Bonnie, I gotta
cool.
say that I really admire you and how proactive you are in your career.
Thank you.
I think it's so important. When I go and talk to like college kids who are at acting schools, they're like, what advice do you have? And I'm like, make your own work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're really living that. So that's
Thanks.
phenomenal.
I always just tell people, just go do stuff. Like, I think people in LA wait for the perfect, like, I would love to be on Glee. That's cool. I'm probably a little bit too old. But people are like waiting for this big break. Like, and maybe someday this will happen and that will happen. But if you make your own show, write a show, perform a show, audition for a show, just like go and work. And sometimes, unfortunately, you don't get paid for things, but it's always a growing process, I think.
Give us the dates and the details for your upcoming show.
Okay. Well, my show is July 15th and 29th. And they're both Sunday nights. It's 7 p.m. at the Hollywood Studio Bar and Grill. And
is it kid friendly?
It's not kid friendly. It's not really like an explicit adult show, but it's not like, don't bring your under 12-year-old. So
okay. And where can people get information about you?
People can get information on the Cabaret Idol site.
Okay.
Like we'll be posting about my show on there on Facebook.com/Cabaret Idol.
Okay. And what about, do you have a Facebook page? Do you have your own Twitter handle?
I have a Twitter that I'm not too active, but maybe I'll be more active now if I get some new followers. Just at Bonnie Sludikoff, Sludikoff. It's kind of difficult. So
At Bonnie Sludikoff on Twitter.
Yes. A good way to get a lot of followers is to call Adam Carolla and Dennis Prager D-bags.
See,
really, people have been talking about Adam Carolla this
it's
week.
like, I don't want to talk about that, and then you talk about it on the air. You got to make up your mind.
There's a difference.
So social media is not okay to talk about it, but on the air
there's a difference.
What's the difference?
What's the difference?
The difference is you bringing me into a conversation with them where you invite them onto the show is yucky. But me saying that I called them D-bags is totally acceptable.
All right. Just so you know, Adam Sandler, Daisy won't let you
Adam
on
Sandler?
I'm sorry.
Adam Sandler, you can come on the show.
Adam Carolla.
Adam Carolla, I have no interest. Because I'm not funny. Wah, wah.
I don't think Adam Carolla is banging down the door to come on the show in the
Probably
first place.
not.
So. But Dennis,
I don't think he's banging anything right now.
Hey.
Hey-yo.
But Dennis Prager is welcome, right?
Sure.
All right. Back to Bonnie.
Even though he votes against my rights and my friends' rights. And
he has a right to his opinion.
he does. Bonnie Sludikoff on the show.
Guys, for any information, you can also email Cabaret Idol for information on Bonnie's show at cabaretidol@yahoo.com. Is that right?
Yes.
Very cool.
What else?
I don't know. I was just going to kick back and let Bonnie ask us questions.
Yeah, go
for
ahead.
Oh, okay. Like what kind of question? So, what are your intentions for your radio show?
To have amazingly talented artists like yourself on
good
continually.
answer.
And to be picked up by Sirius.
Right.
Although we'll be in direct competition with our next guest, Julie James. Hey, look at that segue.
Yeah, way to segue into the... guys,
Bonnie, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Our pleasure.
make sure you follow Bonnie on Twitter at Bonnie Sludikoff. That's BonnieSludikoff. And we're going to be right back with SiriusXM's Live on Broadway host, Julie James.
Julie M. Effin James.
She's going to love that.
She already said she did.
If you have any questions for Julie, call us at 800-336-2225. We'll be back on La La Land with Brett and Daisy right here on CRN Digital Talk. Welcome back to La La Land on CRN Digital Talk. I'm Brett Chapin. That's Daisy Eagan. And we are joined today by SiriusXM's Live on Broadway host, Julie James. Hey, Julie.
Hello.
Hello. So is it true that your nickname really is Julie MF and James?
Well, it's a very inside, a small group of insiders, and it keeps coming up. So I don't know what it is about my name that just keeps making people say that, but
I think it's partly your personality that you're just like, what? I'm Julie James.
I know that it's your real name.
Around.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it's your real name, right, Julie? Because it's a great stage name.
Everybody always thinks it's a stage name or a showbiz name or even a radio name when I got into radio, but I have my parents to thank. They gave me a good one.
Very nice.
Good job, Mr. and Mrs. James.
Well, well, we love Julie James, and she hosts Broadway Names with Julie James on SiriusXM's Live on Broadway, talking to all these amazing Broadway actors. I've heard interviews you've done with a lot of them, and we wanted to have you on the show. One of the reasons that I definitely wanted to have you on the show, Julie, is because I think that your love for Broadway, you really exude that in your interviews. You can really tell that you just have such a passion and such a love for Broadway when you're interviewing these stars. And I was curious, just first to start off, how did it all begin for you getting involved in radio?
Oh, gosh. I mean, it was one of those really happy accidents. I come from a background in opera and musical theater and performance, and I've been fortunate enough to perform around the world. And I went to Kazakhstan at one point and performed for the president there, and I got to sing the national anthem at Fenway Park, but right before I moved to New York from Boston. And I've gotten to do a lot of incredible, wonderful things, and still do and perform and all of that, and it probably would take up the whole show to actually describe how I accidentally sort of landed at Sirius. At the time, it was just Sirius. It was prior to the merger of Sirius and XM together. Mm-hmm. But I think, for your listeners and your audience, what's important is that, I loved what Bonnie was saying about, not waiting for opportunities to come to you. And so I feel like even if you are an actor that is blessed enough to have been, in a major motion picture or on the Broadway stage or whatever, chances are everything you're doing isn't exactly how you pictured it. Mm-hmm. So it's more kind of important, I think, to just go with your heart, go with your passion, go with your gut, and see where that ends up leading you, because it's probably going to be something really different than what you thought it was going to be, and I think everybody experiences that. We all have a lot of pictures of what we think we're going to be doing, but just because it ends up different isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in my case, it's something I never dreamed I would end up doing, and I so enjoy doing it, and I thank you for acknowledging the passion, because I think that's what it actually starts with.
Yeah, you got to roll with the punches.
Yep, but just a very long story short, I got a foot in the door there and was working as sort of a subordinate sort of person on the technical side, working for their 3 classical channels. And I got in there and, much like Bonnie said, just kind of rolled up my sleeves and made myself known, and sort of was like, I could help with that. I could do this. I could do, and before I knew it, I was, ensconced in the world of Broadway. I sing dirty parody songs for Howard Stern. I do jingles on a myriad of stations, voiceovers. I've managed to create a career outside the company doing voiceovers. I did a spot for Whole Foods this week. And then the Broadway thing, really accelerated around the time of the merger, because a lot of change was happening for the company. So I'm actually the program director for the station at large, which is called On Broadway. And we're a 24/7 national station. If anybody doesn't know what we do, satellite radio, and we have an all-show tune station, 24/7, no commercials. And I also am the program director of the Metropolitan Opera Station. So it's really a true blend of all of my original passions, but executed in a way that I could never have imagined. So I think if you just stay open and stay passionate, and as Tommy Tune said to me, stay interested, that's a lot right there. So I feel really fortunate and blessed to get to do what I get to do every day, which includes responsible for both of those stations at large. Everything that's on them is basically my responsibility. And then I have the individual specialty shows like the Live on Broadway with Seth Rudetsky. Now it's a new show called Seth Speaks Broadway. My own show, Broadway Names with Julie James, and all these other hats that everybody has to wear.
And I think we just found out why your nickname is Julie MF and James.
Who has time? I'm not messing around here.
Well, you get a great opportunity, which I'm sure you don't take for granted, is the opportunity to talk to a lot of Broadway stars, and you spend so much time finding out about them that it's nice to be able to find out a little bit about you as well today.
Thank you.
So who's your? I know it's hard to pick, but maybe who are some of your favorites that you've had the chance to speak to?
Besides Brett Chapin and Daisy Eagan.
Right, clearly.
I know. But that's a given, so we'll just, put that in its own pocket. I maybe because he's fresh on my mind from the Tony Awards, because I visited with him very briefly on the red carpet, and it was my second time visiting with him. The first was in the studio for a really nice sit down, and that was Mr. Hugh Jackman.
Oh, nice.
And he just is an unbelievable person, like as the person, aside from Hugh Jackman, the actor or his persona or whatever. And I think that's the most fun thing, is finding out who these people actually are, aside from what roles they play or how they've been marketed or that sort of thing. So he is an amazing humanitarian and philanthropist, and he has a heart that is as huge as his muscles. And one of the reasons that he was honored with a Tony honor this year is because while he was doing his Broadway show this fall, he raised just on his own over $2 million.
Yeah, that's incredible.
For Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. Just like on his own, half the time not even really organized. So it was just amazing to get to talk with him. That's just one. That's just one example.
I'll bet it was. We're going to have to come back with you. You can tell us about a couple more maybe.
Cool.
We'll be back with Julie James from SiriusXM's Live on Broadway on La La Land with Brett and Daisy, CRN Digital Talk.